All right. Good morning, everyone. How's it going, Peter? How are you today?
Carlos, I am doing great. How are you?
I'm doing excellent, excellent. Better than my computer, but I think we found the problem last night. So we're
All
gonna
right. Morning.
we got some RAM,
How's it
some
going?
new RAM installed in there, and we got a hard drive, but I haven't moved all the memory over. Once I do that, this thing will be running a lot smoother. Um, all right, folks. Let's see what we got here. You were saying, Peter? Did I lose Peter?
No, I'm here. Sorry, I think it might have been an echo. I was just turning off sounds here.
Oh, perfect.
All right. Morning.
All right, guys, let's get started. So, hope you had a great day yesterday. Hope you're having a great day today, guys. Let's get into what is happening this morning. Let's look at our stocks in play. As you know, Norm is out this morning. He still doesn't have power. So hopefully today he can get that resolved. As he sees the trucks pulling into his neighborhood closer and closer, the lights are coming back on around his area. So hopefully today he'll get going. All right, so let's get into the top plays and highlights from yesterday, guys. Let's look at BYND. Obviously, this has been a monster and one of the stocks that just has been extremely active over the last couple of days. We just got to be careful with the moves on this, right? This thing's been moving $10 like it's a dollar, right? So again, just be very careful with trading this one. But today's, as you can see, it is up 1.7, 281,000 shares traded. At the moment, pre-market action looks clean. This is a great clean pre-market action, and right, we get the question a lot. Well, what do you mean it's a clean pre-market action? What makes it a clean pre-market action? And you can see on here just this nice little flow, right? Nice little range being created. You got some volume on it. So to me, this is a very good clean pre-market action. It's exactly what you want to see. Especially this early on. It's only 8:37 Eastern time, so there's a great pre-market action, exactly what you want to see on Beyond the Meat. It is on short selling restriction today. I still do not have shares for short on CME. Not sure if IB does or Centerpoint. Now, Peter, do you have with IB shares to short? Peter must have dropped off. All right, wait for him to come back. So again, just let's look at how they traded
No,
yesterday. Oh, there you are.
sorry, I'm having some headset issues, so
Oh, no
we're
worries.
back.
Good, good. So yesterday on
But no,
BYND just had a nice sell-off all the way down here, then pops right back up to the VUS. So again, this is a very tough stock to trade. And then it's just sold off after that, right? Pre-market action was very active all over the place, but with some good volume. And then it really drops down all the way from 150 down to 129 last trading day yesterday. So again, just a very big drop here. Today's up a bit, 2.2. Let's see if it can rebound today. But again, it was a nice short. As you can see, the VWAP, clear VWAP reversal here. I'm sorry, rejection here on the VWAP. And it just sells down nicely, hitting the low of the day and then going even lower. So if you had shares for short on this one, this was a great short. Very difficult to take this trade because you got to be careful with the number, as I mentioned earlier, the number of shares you take because just of the volatility this stock has, right? ATR, what's the ATR and BYND? I mean, ATR is $16, right? Over the last 14 days. So it's not one to play with and take lightly, right? To be very careful on that. All right, let's go to CBAY. This was a nice one as well. Was very active in the pre-market. This is the one that gapped down quite a bit. I think 40%. Yeah, that gapped down 40% yesterday. And it sold off, but then kind of recovered, right? So you had this nice sell-off here. Beautiful opening range breakdown. If you got in here, was able to get a couple of cents out, maybe 50 or 60 cents out of here. And then does this beautiful reversal back up to VWAP. Then from there, you got a nice ABCD pattern, also like a nice flag happening right below the VWAP. You can see right there, and then you get the breakout with volume all the way hitting the high of the day and then higher high of the pre-market. So again, it was interesting to trade. I did not trade this one. It looked again, just looked a little bit all over the place, but the price action was not as clean. But if you was able to catch this drop or this reversal, it traded really nice. AMD continues to give us amazing moves. Here was yesterday again a beautiful opening range breakup. The pullback is a little more aggressive than what we like to see on an opening range breakup, but let's just zoom into it. So if you look on the 5 right here, it sells off very aggressively with volume, tons of volume here, and I saw this happening. I was concerned with getting in here and getting into a squeeze, so I didn't jump in on this one. But you can see here the nice test of VWAP gets rejected and it sells right back down towards the low of the day and even lower. Loses momentum around this area, and then it just starts slowly getting back up to VWAP. False VWAP breakout here, not as aggressive. You want to see the false VWAP breakout last a little longer, but clearly did not want to stay above VWAP. Does another test here, so it's a nice double top here on the 5. You can clearly see just going right here, nice double top, and then a beautiful drop to the low of the day, and then even lower, it just continues to drop. So we did not expect that from AMD. We thought AMD was actually, it looked like it was going to be setting up nicely to test that high, the 52-week high over here, but again, opened up really weak, and it just stayed weak for the entire rest of the day. Next, we had a MU was on our watch list. The watch list yesterday was not great, so that's why you see a lot of these. I had MU on here. I had a AMD. MU was one that, again, just was not tradable. Had this amazing volume at the open, sold off, sold back up. Once it did that and this candle was setting up this way, I just left it alone. That's not one I want to touch. And then you can see just became very chopped. Every candle overlapping the previous candle. Clearly not doing any type of flow here, no type of direction on this. So you can see here sells off nicely and then heads all the way down toward this previous day close down here. This is the one I traded, ZYNE. This was a beautiful stock. Let's look at the price action. So sells down here nicely. I got in around this area over here. Actually a little higher. I did chase it a bit. I was looking for the breakout, just the way it was setting up. So right in here. So a bit of a chase. Better entry would have been down here by the moving average. You can see nicely coiling up, and then just kind of trading into a point. And here's the volume, right? So I missed this beautiful entry here, breaking above the moving averages. You can also see your risk to reward in here was perfect. So if you caught this around this area, that was the trade to take. Even closer to here, right, as it was breaking out from the high of the day at that time, right, that would have been a perfect entry. Say your stop loss at VWAP. I missed that entry, did get a little FOMO, so I jumped in here on this pullback for a possible continuation, and it worked out nicely. So that was a good trade there, and it just kept going. It just kept going. If you had a better entry around here, you would have, taken some on the way up, held through this pullback, because you want to bring it to your break even. Sometimes these stocks can come down, test the moving average, and then head back up, and it did just that. If you had a great entry, you could have taken advantage of this beautiful pop all the way to 14 or so. Also, we had this one here, JAGX. This one was just all over the place. Again, just very active, very difficult to trade. I was watching the price action closely on this one. You cannot short it. It is a lower flow stock. Again, just very active. It's just I did not have the guts to get in this one, so I just left it alone. But it was fun to watch. I mean, it was just really trading very aggressively. PRBB was in our watches as well. Turned out to be a beautiful open range breakdown on the 5. But again, it is a lower flow stock, so I don't like shorting these, because if you get caught in a squeeze, I mean, it can really hurt, right? Even with just taking 100 shares on something like this, just to be in the action. If it squeezes $2-3, you're down $300-200. So again, it's just not worth the risk for me. But it turned out to be a beautiful open range breakdown. I'm sorry. So you can see here it has a nice range. And then the next candle opens up, completely starts selling down. Then you get this nice drop here on this 5-minute candle. So if you were able to take advantage of that, that was a great turnout. But again, just a very tough stock to trade. It is a lower flow stock. There was shares for short, but it's just very difficult to trade that one. All right, so let's get into this morning. Let's see, what do we have? Peter, do you have any updates on news or anything that's going on around the market today that we should be looking out for? I know I'm probably catching you off guard. That's usually what Norm does, but you know what? I think you watch the news often as well, correct?
Absolutely. That's what I'm here to fill in for.
Excellent.
So absolutely, yeah, we've got global markets are generally down this morning, so we'd be looking for a potential, lower open on the North American markets as well. There's some news out of the UK on oil, so anybody that looks at energy, the UK has announced zero emissions guidelines for to be in effect by 2050, which has a lot of the oil stocks, including BP, down, and of course the oil futures. And then gold is continuing to rise. So that's sort of a broad macroeconomic picture. Today, I think we have a couple of U.S. Fed announcements. Nothing major though that should affect the direction of the markets.
Excellent. And you can see here, just looking at the SPY, man, the last couple of days, a really nice bounce. So we're giving some back a little bit today and yesterday. So let's see, we're down. Actually, pretty flat. We're not even down that much. We're pretty flat, but the overall trend looks like we're kind of slowing down a bit here. But again, it's just a beautiful pop here. I gotta say, a lot of us, including myself, did not think this was going to rebound as hard as it did. I mean, look at the last couple of days, just coming right back to the range the support we were at from a couple of weeks ago. So interesting stuff there. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Let's see what we have. Let's go over to our gappers list right over here, and then we'll get into our NASDAQ active, NASDAQ gainers. Then we'll see what you guys have on your end, what's hot, what's not. We'll definitely go through it. So CBAY, is this a low float? This is, no, 63 million shares float, right? CBAY, oh yeah, this is the one from yesterday. This is the one that, again, dropped 40%. Yesterday, based on a test not coming out positive. So as you can see here, pre-market action not really great. It does have 168,000 shares traded. It is up 7.4, but we're not getting a nice flow here. It's very choppy within this area, so not a very clean active pre-market action at the moment. So right now, daily chart looks good. We have plenty of levels on here. I believe this is the all-time low they created yesterday. I gotta double check, but again, we got some levels in here, nice little gap if it wants to rebound today. But overall, this pre-market action is not looking too fancy. So we'll keep it on there. We'll come back to that one. Next we have is Tesla. Tesla, it is up 2.7, 391,000 shares traded so far. Has actually a very good pre-market action. And the reason for that is because you can see, even from 7 o'clock, very active early on this morning. You got this nice little flow and trend being created. You got some nice full candles here, some good bodies, opposed to just seeing some of these dots and flatness, right? So good volume, 392,000 shares traded. So we expect that to be very active at the open as well. A lot of people are watching this early on. Looking at the daily, also daily looks good. Also nice rebound here. Could be happening with the market as well. But overall, I think Tesla, it's been beaten up so bad that it was probably due for some kind of a pullback here. Peter, do we have anything specific to Tesla this morning for it gapping up almost 3%, or it's just overall market conditions?
The biggest thing is probably that Elon sent out some of his little messages he likes to do, saying that there's a possible record quarter coming for the stock. So sounds like he's trying to pump it up a little bit, and that's got some people thinking that they might post some good numbers when they have their quarterly results.
Yeah, nothing new. Him sending something out to stir the pot a little bit. So all right, good stuff. So let's look at what we have here on Tesla. So Tesla looks interesting. We'll keep that on watch. I personally don't like the way this stock tends to trade sometimes. It could be very difficult with the price action, but so we'll see what happens there. BP is a foreign stock, guys, and look at this daily chart. This doesn't look great. Very choppy. A lot of gaps within this stock. Again, so it's just one that doesn't trade very well. Today it has 408,000 shares traded, but if we look into the action, again, just not clean. Look, you have one huge block trade here, probably 134,000 shares traded. You have another huge trade right in here as well, another 134,000 shares traded. If you go into your times and sales, you can look for these. You can see one here. Let's see, if we scroll down, you probably can see the other big trade on here. Oh, it's probably already erased, but again, just huge block trades, not really anything that's tradable. So I'm just gonna remove this one here. Let's go over to MU. MU actually has a okay pre-market action compared to what it normally does. Normally doesn't look as good as this today. So early on, we can see some kind of flow being started here, not with enough volume. If it had more volume, probably could have been a lot better. So only 130,000 shares traded for MU today. MU is down 2.4. So this is good. We got a nice little drop over here, so we can see if we got some very clean support towards the bottom. Again, nasty candle, nasty daily chart here, but you can clearly find some supports within these areas here that we gonna get into in a second. Anything specific on MU, or are we just following the regular market stuff, or anything causing this to be down today?
Yeah, nothing really specific. I mean, there is some news that in advance of their earnings, they're starting to speculate that they're going to have some poor sales numbers. They are a victim of the Huawei ban in the U.S. that's affecting some of their sales. So I think it's really just a little bit of speculation that's causing the drop.
Excellent. All right, so let's look over now on MDSO. So MDO, this is a nasty daily, right? And I say nasty just because the way this is forming up here. Look at this daily chart, just chopping around. Go ahead.
It's a buyout. It's a strange buyout, actually, because the buyout price the buyout price was below the yesterday's close. So the buyout was agreed at $92.25.
Uh-huh.
So, but because the price had closed above that, that's why we're seeing the drop this morning.
Got it. Yep. Yep. So yeah. So not anything we can trade here. And even if it was tradable, I mean, this is a very nasty daily chart. If it wasn't a buyout, not a good pre-market action. But that explains why the nastiness is happening there. So we'll get rid of this one. We have play. Let's see if play is in play. Looks like it is. Nice little activity here. 170,000 shares traded so far. Looks nasty from here to here, guys. It's a very nasty daily chart here. You don't want to see this. You don't want to see this gap. You don't want to see this back and forth. But from here. Here we're starting to see a nice little trading here, so we got trying to see some clean activity happening here, maybe because the volume is picking up a bit. So I like the way this is looking here. It looks like a football playbook here, right? It's kind of got stuff going on, but yeah, this looks good. I like the activity here, very active this morning. I like the drop down 17%. Peter, what went wrong with this today? Something's definitely up.
Yeah, so play is Dave & Buster's Entertainment. They had their earnings, they missed their estimates, so they did not hit the street expectations, and they lowered their forward guidance. So it's a little bit of a lower float. There's about a 34 million share float on it, and it tends to trade a little choppy, so I'd be careful with it, but it does look good this morning.
Yeah, it does look good so far this morning. Yeah, daily chart, you can tell that it looks a little funky, but it does have some nice ranges to it. I'm not sure what the intraday looks like. I don't think I ever have watched the price action on this stock, but today's definitely in play for sure. Look at this nice double bottom here on this daily and a beautiful squeeze, so that's great. Yeah, let's definitely see what's going on here. So let's hope that this pre-market action continues to just develop a nice little flow here. It's starting to from here on, about 8 o'clock on, so let's hope that it continues that. Next we have on here, I think that's the last one. So far, yeah, CBAY, Tesla, MU, and play. So we have 4 out of our gappers list that looks somewhat interesting. We'll get some levels out of these 4. Let's look over on the Nasdaq active. So we have HJLI. Seems more of a penny stock, really. Usually trades. It looks like it's been trading under a buck. The last couple of actually just last day, just yesterday. So not sure what's going on here, guys. Has 3 million shares traded, but again, I don't think this is anything that's tradable based on the price action and how low this price is. So I'm not gonna look into this one. Again, if you're into the penny stock trading, this is one that's active. Actually, 3.1 million shares trading. That's fine. That's excellent. Just check over what the flow is. So the flow is 8.64. We can throw it down here for the low flow team. Let's get some space in here. We'll throw it over here, but again, just not one that I'm going to be focusing on, so be very careful in trading this one today. Next we have INSY, again also a penny stock under a buck, so we won't look at that. LGCY, also penny stock. ZNGA, 1.3 million shares traded, but this is a nasty pre-market action as well, guys. Look at this in here. It's just not really much going on. Here's your close of yesterday. Here's your start of today. So again, yes, it does have 1.3 million shares traded, but not anything that's really tradable at the moment. Let's take a look at the daily. Daily looks like it's been on a tear the last couple of months here. It's just taking off nicely, hitting 650. But again, just not a great pre-market action at the moment. So let's go down to MDSO. We looked at earlier. This is a buyout, so we'll skip that. AMD, I'm definitely going to watch AMD. AMD traded very nice yesterday, so we'll throw AMD on here. So you can see we have this nice little drop here at the moment. It'll probably hit our scanners once if it gets below 2%. Right now it's not there yet, but it looks like it might want to test hopefully this moving average, and hopefully can give us a good entry to get in here. Right now pre-market action looks okay. It looks decent. It's got some flow to it. It's got some volume. 872,000 shares traded, so looking forward to that. Over here, BLIN. We have traded this one in the past. We definitely have traded this one in the past. BLIN. This is a very low flow, but yeah, I do recall trading this one in the past. It's 800,000 shares, guys, flow. So you want to be extremely careful with this one. But this is a former runner. Today it looks like it has 876,000 shares traded. It has actually a good clean pre-market action for the low flow team. So we're going to throw it on here next to HJLI. So this one, again, some good volume, up 20%. Peter, anything causing this one to be up today, or it's just regular activity, buyers just pushing this up?
Well, there's absolutely no news on it, and with a float of less than 1 million, it's already flipped its float. So, like you said, be very careful.
Yeah, that's the scary part. But this thing is popping up 20% with no apparent news, and that's what happens. And this is why these things usually do not hold, because you can get an expected drop out of nowhere. There's no reason for this thing to be up 20% today. All right, so let's head down over to, all right, we looked at that. SINT, penny stock, nothing going on there. NASDAQ ETF, and then we have the TVIX all the way down here, which is slightly up, as the markets are probably down slightly as well. All right, so SYBX, not much going on here, no volume, guys. HJLI we have, BLIN we have, IMRN, nothing going on, no volume. AXGT, also nothing. CBAY we have, or yes, we do have over here. CBAY climbing up a bit here. KXIN, not much going on. NEPT, also nothing happening. MAT, pre-market action is horrible at the moment. And then let's head down to NVTR. So NVTR, also no activity, no action going on. So this is what we have at the moment, guys. What do you guys have on your end? Something that we might have not looked at yet that looks exciting. So let's get some tickers out here. So we have ZM. Let's look at ZM. ZM has been one that has been active as well. What did they end up doing yesterday? They dropped some more. All right, so they had a nice big red day yesterday. Not much action going on, only 10,000 shares today, but I think you're going to get some kind of activity out of this. What I don't like about it, I don't have any shares for short. It is on short selling restriction, but this looks like you have a beautiful possible gap. You can close down here or get a bounce. So it's in a very interesting situation on the daily, but again, just the activity right now is definitely not there in regards to volume and everything else. So TTD, let's take a look at TTD here. So TTD is doesn't really have the volume right now. What I don't like about TTD, doesn't trade very well sometimes. It can be very choppy, but right now it doesn't have the volume. It is down 4.6, so I see what you're looking at. Again, it had this nice little run up here, and then now you're getting this drop. But again, just doesn't trade very well for me at the moment. The volume is not there. That's what's causing this pre-market action not to be as attractive. So maybe later on in the day it can get better, but right now not looking great. So BYND, let's look at BYND. I think BYND is going to join that Zoom as well, right? It's going to be very active today. It has a beautiful, clean pre-market action. It's popping up into our scanners as well. Again, it's kind of putting in a little bounce here. So a lot more activity. I like it. I don't like the fact that it is on short selling restrictions and we have no shares to short. In the last couple of days, it's sold off really bad yesterday. So not sure what to expect out of it today, but this looks very good, very clean, nice pre-market action. So we'll definitely add it on here. Surprised they didn't have this on earlier. This looks good. So we'll throw BYND on there. All right, what else we have? So BYND is very active. Agree. ZY. This was active yesterday. I traded it. It was very nice. What is it doing today? ZYNE. So the activity is not great, but yesterday traded really nice. Had a real big day yesterday. Let's remove some of these levels. Real big day yesterday. Could have a continuation today, but it's having a hard time with this 14 level here. So very hard time with this 14 level. So look out for that. At the moment, the volume is not there. Only 21,000 shares traded right now. It is up only 1.1. So I'll be looking for this to hit our scanners. But again, it could be a good continuation play. If it can crack above this 14, then you have some nice opportunities here to hit some of these levels towards the top. All right, folks, what else do we have? Cisco's in the gappers. Thank you, Abiel. So Cisco's jumping into the gappers list on here. Let's see what we have. All right, so Cisco, yeah, we definitely traded Cisco in the past. You can tell here we have all our levels set up. Let's look at the pre-market action. Pre-market action not looking great. Volume is starting to build up, so hopefully we can get something out of here. But right now, pre-market action is not looking amazing. I do like the daily chart though. Daily chart looks good. Nice drop of 1.9, and it looks like we're starting to get some activity here. You can tell by the time in sales, things are starting to get going. So hopefully volume can ramp up. So we'll keep it on here, see if it gets better. I do like this daily chart. You can see here it's dropping. Any news on Cisco? What's going on with them that they're dropping today? Anything happen?
No, they just yesterday they were pretty much at their all-time high. You know, they were looking. People were hoping for a 6th day of gainers, but yeah, other than that, I don't see any specific news driving the little bit of a sell-off today. Probably some profit taking.
Okay, excellent. And so it looks like they got a downgrade as well. Abios mentioned that also. All right, so yeah, Cisco is good. Let's keep it on here. I like the way it's building up now. Doesn't have a good pre-market action from here to here, guys. This is nasty, but then from here, hopefully, it can get into some kind of flow. Volume is ramping up, so hopefully you can get the ramp going and increase that volume. That should create a nice pre-market action. Let's look at QCOM. QCOM is one of those stocks that when it trades bad, it really trades bad. It can be extremely choppy. But today they are down 2.8. Don't have a lot of volume just yet. Daily chart looks interesting. But yeah, this pre-market action though, it's not good at all right now. Not good all right now. So I'm gonna skip on QCOM at the moment. TTD, yeah, we looked at TTD. My issue with TTD is that it doesn't have the volume right now. So pre-market action is not looking great at all at the moment. So that's my issue with TTD. So we'll see. We'll have it on here. We'll go through some announcements in a few minute or two. Just want to check a few more if you guys have some. And then we'll get to announcements. You got a couple? Go ahead. What you got there?
Just a couple. You'd mentioned Neptune quickly. I might keep an eye on that. It's a pot stock, so they just announced a new deal with a company called Green Organic Dutchman. So it may cause some movement a little bit later today. But you're right, the pre-market action doesn't look good so far. Apple might be worth watching. It's been a runner for the last couple of days. In fact, article this morning. They've had 6 straight green days, which is the first time that's happened since the .com boom. So
wow.
There could be some people bullish and excited about Apple. It is not at its high, but that 6 straight green days is sort of the first time that's happened in a decade.
Wow, that's kind of hard to believe on a stock like that, but that's some fun fact there. Nice.
It was sort of an interesting article to mention that. The pair of RTN and UTX, that's that giant merger between Raytheon and United Technologies. Activist investor Bill Ackman, sort of was speaking up this morning saying that the deal makes absolutely no sense. So I didn't trade UTX, but it was actually moving nicely yesterday. So I'll keep it on my list just to see if it makes some move today, if it comes in play. But of course, right now there's nothing happening with it. So
Gotcha. Yeah, UTX definitely has been active. Look at these 2 drops here. So some good ones to have later on mid morning or even at the open if they hit our scanners or get going. You know, these stocks could be great. I did not know NEPT was a pot stock, so that's good to know. Neptune Wellness, of course, and then again, just we'll see what comes out of that. I had a couple of crazy days the last 2-3 days, right? Nice pop, sell off, and then kind of coming back now. So it could hit that 520.20. So we'll see how that reacts. All right, folks. Let's get into some announcements and news or updates, and then we'll see. We'll get some levels in here. What do we have, Peter?
Yeah. Sounds good. We got a few announcements today. So let's start with today, guys. At noon today, we're restarting our workshop series, so it'll be a little bit different. Today we're going to talk about trading a small account. So Carlos actually is going to be presenting that, and it's not going to be here in this room. It'll actually be in our training room. So if you wanted to join that would be sort of fantastic place to go over the quiet hours at the noon. You can have both rooms going at the same time, but jump into our Education Center, and you'll be able to join that workshop happening at noon today. And all these announcements, by the way, are up above in our alerts. Secondly, tomorrow we're having our next Ask Me Anything event. So that's going to be live on YouTube, so everybody can join, whether you're a member or not. It's going to be with myself and Andrew, and that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern or market time tomorrow night. We also have our trading setup. We're asking everybody to vote on the trading setup. So we've got posted in our forum. So voting closes on the 15th of June for that. So get your votes in. Make sure that they count. You basically just go and like the ones that you think are best, and the one with the most likes will sort of win that. So that'll be great. Next, in Montreal, lovely city in the summer. The Modern Traders Summit is happening there on the 22nd of June. Andrew is one of the key speakers. So he'll be speaking on Saturday, the 22nd of June. And then we have the meetup the night before. Those meetups are fantastic. They're a lot of fun. I'm going to be there. We got a couple of us that are going to be there. So that'll be great. Join us for that meetup. The details, again, are in the forums. And just let us know you're coming so we've got an idea of numbers. But even if you can only make it last minute, I said that they're always a ton of fun, and Andrew buys the drinks. So you can't beat that.
You can't go wrong with that.
Exactly. You can't go wrong with that.
Anybody?
Last but not,
go ahead.
So Go ahead, Carlos.
I'm saying anybody on the fence from not going after you mentioned that they're making plans. Go for it.
There you go. Right. Free drinks. Last but not least, guys, if you ever need DAS support, so not only will we talk about trading and provide you support and information on anything trading related, but we can provide you some support against your DAS platform if you're a DAS user. If so, just go to our homepage and there's a form at the bottom you can fill out. Jonathan is on board and is happy to help answer any of your DAS questions. So you just fill out the form, he'll get back to you as soon as possible and help you with any configuration or setup items. Of course, if you just got quick questions in our off-topic tab, you're welcome to go post them there and we'll do our best to answer and provide support. But if it's more detailed questions about setup or you really need someone to jump on your computer and sort of walk you through how to set it up, Jonathan's poised and able to help you with that. Those are our announcements.
Excellent, excellent. All right, guys, let's get into some levels here. Running a little bit slightly behind due to our technical issues this morning. So let's get right into it. So CBAY right now, pre-market action does not look great. Again, this one traded very clean yesterday, so I like that. So I'm gonna just put some levels on it. I might not keep it after I do my final list, and I might drop it all, but just want to be ready in case we look at this one in the mid-morning or at the open. So 675 high of the pre-market, low of the pre-market, really next to where the previous, actually no, it's not, it's a little higher. Low of the pre-market 634, previous day close, did that get down? Yeah, 634. Previous day close sitting at around 605, so that's good. I think the all-time low is this one here, previous day low, which was 480 or so. I believe that's the all-time low. I'm not 100% sure, but it's at least a 52-week low, so you know it's going to be a significant support level if we can get back down there and test that one more time. So we have a nice little gap here to close if we can get going all the way up here to 10. Let's find some levels in between there just in case this thing does decide to take a run. Clear level right here at 834. Again, this had a massive drop yesterday. Another nice level here, right at 735. Had a nasty drop yesterday, so today could be a rebound day. But again, don't be biased. Wait to see what the action at the open gives you. Next, we have Tesla. Tesla continues to put in a beautiful pre-market action. It got some nice activity here. Got some good volume. Again, not too much fan of this stock, but today's pre-market action is looking very, very good. So I'm gonna mark down high at the pre-market 226.45. It's the high of the pre-market. Then above that we have this nice 234 level. We talked about this yesterday. Also, you can see a moving average right in this area as well. Towards the bottom you have plenty of levels, don't need to add any more. Previous day highs and low listed in here, previous day close, and some more previous day lows in this area. Also got some moving averages coming in below the previous day close. I don't think we're heading south on this one today, but again, no bias. Let's see what the open gives us. Pre-market action is looking again very, very attractive today. MU pre-market action is looking okay compared to how the stock usually opens up. For the pre-market, low of the pre-market sitting at 33.92, and then towards the bottom here, very clean level. Although this is chopped, you can see there's a nice level here of support around 33.07. You can see several days just testing that support on here, not wanting to sell lower. And then also you got another support here. When it does sell lower, you got another support at 32.49. Sorry, right here, 32.49, and then one all the way down here. Again, pretty close to it, but I'm going to mark it down anyways because you do have a possible support here from this day heading down there and bouncing back. So that is MU. Towards the top, you have previous day close. You have previous day high of the pre-market, which is also very close to the low of 2 days ago. So plenty of levels towards the top. I'm not going to add any more there. So plays looking okay. It's getting some more volume now. I can see here starting to build up. Still not creating the best pre-market action possible, but I do like the fact this is down 17%. So when a stock is down this much, you usually get some kind of reaction. Hopefully it's a clean one today and we can take advantage of it. So high of the pre-market sitting at 43, low of the pre-market sitting exactly at 40. So you got a nice $3 range there. Let's go into what we have here. Look at this high of the pre-market is support for these several days on here. So that's nice and clean there. It's got a good daily chart now that I'm looking at it more closely. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for something towards the bottom, and we do have something right in here. If it drops, it's 40. If it heads back down, we have a level right at 38. This stock seems to like to hold dollars a lot for levels. So you got 40, you got 38. Oops, what did we do here? There we go. All right, so now and then towards the top you have a nice double bottom here off this 45.84, and then another level right up here at 48.98. So pretty nice daily chart. Actually, you can see a lot of clean levels to be found off of this. Right now is trying to push against this $43 resistance at the moment, high of the pre-market. So let's see what it does. Let's hope that this volume continues to pack in and create a nice pre-market action. Next we have AMD. So AMD, again, AMD's been very active the last couple of days. I like the way it's been trading at the open, giving us some very good moves towards the top. Let's mark down the high of the pre-market, sitting at 32.14, above that previous day close. You can also mark down the high of this day here. Again, MU doesn't move much. If you can get 25 to 30 cents out of MU, you know, that's a win. The stock doesn't move much. Not every day you get moves like this. So your levels should be a little bit closer. We have a moving average here coming in at 31. So I'm going to mark that down, 31. It's a nice clean moving average towards the bottom. And then we also have, I know this level is very close, but I'm going to mark it down as well because we also have this low of this day here at 31.58. I know it's close, guys, but again, if you get 25, 30 cents out of MU, that's a good area to partial. So I'm sorry, out of AMD, correction, AMD. All right, BYND, oh, nice balance of this moving average on BYND here, and the pre-market action continues to be extremely active. Let's remove these levels and get some fresh ones. High of the pre-market sitting at 35. Bring a little higher. Right here, 30. Oh, that's too high. Zoom in. Right over here, doesn't have to be exact, but I want it a little closer at least. There you go, 35. High of the pre-market, low of the pre-market sitting at 121.11. So we'll mark that down. We got a moving average in there as well. Then towards the bottom, if we lose that 121, we have a nice gap here. We have the highest point after that will be this 108.64, right? That was the time that we broke 100, I believe. That was exciting, or at least broke over 100, and then we kind of consolidated a little bit before we had this incredible pop here. So again, BYND very active this morning, has a very nice clean pre-market action, guys. Look at this flow, look at this bounce, look at this range it's creating with volume. That's the type of action you want to see. All right, so here's some possibles. So we have Zoom. I'm not going to watch, guys. There's no volume here, so we'll get rid of that one. We're coming up on 9:15 Eastern time, and it's still not doing anything. TTD, I know you guys are, some of you guys will be watching this one today, so I'm going to put some levels on here in case you do watch this one. I'm going to take it off because the pre-market action is not looking great. High of the pre-market 232. I'm sorry, low of the pre-market 232. High of the pre-market 239.49. So mark those down. I like the low of the pre-market sitting right on this level. If it loses that, you have a very clean level here at 222.84. Then you also have another nice moving average at 219. So I'm going to mark that down also. Towards the top, you have plenty of levels. You have highs and lows in here from the two last trading days, and also the previous day close right there. So plenty of levels in that area. Good question, Zach. So the flow on BYND is very low. Right now we're showing 4.4 million shares traded. This is why the average true range on this stock is, look at this, is $16, the average true range for the last 14 days. So you want to be careful with this stock. It does trade a little choppy. It's very exciting to watch, but just be careful how you trade in your number of shares on it. I think that recent IPOs, and Peter, you know a lot about IPOs. So do you think that that flow is correct? Is it going to get adjusted in a couple of days? What's the plan? I noticed Finviz doesn't have anything on it. It shows it as zero or empty.
Yeah, it usually gets adjusted after. It takes a little bit of time for it to figure out the flow. Then, as some of the early holds get released, that flow tends to go up as well. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's you can't trust it. And for an IPO for the first, I would say usually for the first month or so, you can't really trust the numbers.
Yeah, yep, I agree. And again, it was trading. Now it does look like it's trading like a low flow. I mean, this action, some of the stuff these are $30 moves, right? $20 moves. So it looks like it's trading like a low flow here. But when it opened up, it wasn't trading like a low flow. It's trading very clean, very nice. Again, just a lot of action going on. Once this, I think it was an earnings report that came out on this day that made a gap almost $30-$40. So crazy stuff there. All right, so TTD, we have levels, but I'm going to remove it, guys, from my list. ZYNE, also no activity, no action at the moment, so I'm also going to remove this one. Next we have Cisco. Let's find some levels. I do like the daily chart on Cisco. Low of the pre-market right now, sitting right to the low of 2 days ago. High also sitting at the highs of 2 days ago, so we're kind of right within this range here. You see this right within that range. So let's see if we can get a breakout one way or the other. We have a nice moving average level here at 55.39. We'll mark that down. Then we have another one, I believe this is a 200 also in here around 55.04. And I think that's playing towards the bottom. If we can get to that 200, that'll be a nice little drop there. Towards the top, you have plenty previous day close and also high from yesterday. You definitely do not need more than that. NETP, so at the moment, again, it's just not much going on. But I know, Peter, you're watching this based on some news and some possibilities of it, doing something today. So high of the pre-market sitting at 516, low sitting at 470. And then you towards the top, you have 520, the high from 2 days ago. Is this all-time high? Yeah, I think it is. No, yes, no, it's not. So we have right when it opened up back in 2007. Again, it's definitely 52-week high. So you don't want to give these other numbers too much weight. But again, that 52-week high looks like it's hitting there at 520 from 2 days ago. So that's going to be interesting if it can get back up there and test that level again. So these two are some possibles for me. I'm probably going to remove them. I'm going to check what Andrew, Brian do on their watch list and then adjust mine accordingly. So HJLI, guys, again, just not looking too good. I'm just going to remove this one. It is a lower flow stock. BLIN, this is a I think we looked at the flow. This thing was 800,000 shares flow. I know we traded in the past, I think last year, but I am really not going to mess with this today. But anyone in the low flow team, this is a good one to watch if you trade these type of stocks, if you have your niche. Again, this is one of those stocks, if you're starting out, you want to avoid. It's like, it's one of those stocks. It's like a BPTH. Just stay away from it. Trade the mid and low flow stocks. And if you do decide to trade this, please take a very serious low number of shares. But we recommend you do not touch this stuff. All right, guys. So here's our list. I'm going to fine tune this a little more. Andrew's going to come on now and do his watch list. And then based on what he finds, we'll adjust this accordingly. Peter, thanks for joining us this morning. Guys on YouTube, take care. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:30 Eastern time.
My pleasure. Later, everyone.